You're watching Lit Happens, Saskatchewan's showcase of the literary talent of the province, and we're on location today at Creative Compliments in downtown Saskatoon. This is going to be a somewhat unusual episode because you've got me, Xander Richards, instead of your normal host, Wes Funk, who oddly enough is sitting right here because we're going to talk about his new memoir, West Side Story. So the hunter has become the hunted, and we've done the old switcheroo. Wes, you hardly need any introduction because you're a fairly well-known figure around here, especially to anybody who watches the show. So with your dispensation, we'll get on about the book.
Oh, wow,
and,
sure.
I've read West Side Story. I loved it. I devoured it. It was a real privilege to have that kind of insight into your life. But I know you've had some variable comments from some of the readers about how it's not a traditional memoir. So I wonder if you'd like to tell us what that's all about.
Well, I guess the biggest comment I've been getting is a lot of folks are saying I'm not old enough to have a memoir out.
This was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Because you're a spring chicken for a memoir.
Well, I don't know if spring chicken is the word. I'm on the cusp of turning 46, so...
Oh my goodness, you're so old.
Yeah, but I've really been challenged on that. A lot of folks are saying most people wait till they're senior citizens to release a memoir, so I felt the timing was now.
Okay, and I agree with you. I don't see that there's any reason why not. But what really prompted you to write it?
It happened accidentally. It really did. I started writing little bits of autobiography while I was working on my novels. Mm-hmm. And one day, a couple of years ago, I opened up that file and realized I had written a complete book. I had mapped out my entire life story. And so I spoke to my publisher, Heather Nickel, in Regina, and she said, let's publish it. And it was a lot of hard work, but we got it out there. So
I bet it was. I mean, hard work, getting into the past and digging into it, but there must have been some catharsis to it as well.
It was quite a journey. I realized that my life was connected to a lot of other people's lives, and it wasn't my place to share other people's stories. So it took some revision and some editing to really get this to what it is now. And we didn't want anyone offended, and it's really hard sometimes to spill your anger and your frustration without sounding acidine and offending readers. So, quite a project.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, you grew up as a small-town prairie boy.
Yes.
And I've seen the region in which you grew up.
Yes, you've been there.
I've got to say it's pretty bleak, isolated, in fact. What was it like growing up there, and how did it eventually lead you to becoming an author?
I grew up as a real pop culture, rock and roll obsessed child in a very rural area of Saskatchewan in Mayfair, which is a small hamlet near North Battleford. And I didn't necessarily fit in with the other boys. While other kids were out playing hockey and hunting, I was usually inside reading comic books and listening to Duran Duran and all that crazy fun stuff. And so I didn't always fit in with the other kids. So that was very trippy for me. And then I think that's part of how I became a writer, because I spent a lot of time alone. So what do you do when you're alone? You read, you write, and stumbled into actually being an author.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I could actually tell a similar story, but that's another one for another day.
Yeah.
So look, West Side Story's been out for a few weeks now, and I attended the launch, which was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And where can we get the book?
The book is widely available, actually. It's at McNally Robinson's, always a good source in Saskatoon, but it's in, I believe, every bookstore in Saskatchewan. It's also been placed in a lot of gift stores around the province, including this one we're in, Creative Compliments, Saskatoon. Mm-hmm. And it's an ebook. So it can be downloaded as an ebook from Amazon, and if nothing else, it can be ordered off my website, and it can be ordered off my publisher's website, Your Nicholsworth Publishing in Regina. Mm-hmm. It's quite accessible.
Good. Now, I know you're very busy with your involvement in the literary community, because you seem to be all over the place all the time. So I have to ask, what's next for you as a writer?
I'm so glad you asked that, Xander. I am working on another novel, which I think is my craziest piece of work yet. And I'm not sure when exactly that's going to manifest, but I think it's my best stuff. It's about
Of course it is.
Oh, thank you. It's just about
let's hope sooner rather than later.
We'll see what happens, but it's about a very zany character who lives in downtown Saskatoon and all these little adventures he has.
Wouldn't be based on anyone then.
Yes. And then there's the illustrated version of Dead Rock Stars, which is I'm very excited about. It resonated with local artist Kevin Hastings. and he felt compelled to do a series of drawings around the book, and so that will be released in sometime in 2015. And so that's on the docket. So yeah, as always, I got a few irons in the fire.
Yeah, and I've seen the artwork, and it is spectacular. And I understand it was recently in a gallery.
It was. Last summer, we were very blessed to have the Francis Morrison Library ask us if they could do an exhibit of the images.
Nice.
And that hung up for a month.
Is there going to be an illustrated version of West Side Story eventually, do you think?
If there is, that's way off somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose, because you are a busy fellow, I know that.
Yeah, there are some nice little pictures and visuals in West Side Story of my life, so hopefully readers will be content with that.
Yeah. Now you're fairly active on social media, aren't you?
Yeah.
So your readers can find you on Facebook, I guess, and other places, and of course you've got your own Wes Funk website, haven't you?
Yes, I am active on Facebook. It seems to be how a lot of creative people flog their products these days. So Facebook, Twitter, there are YouTube episodes of me doing readings all over the internet, and of course my own website, wesfunk.ca. So,
okay,
I'm like a virus that won't go away. I just seem to be everywhere.
That sounds like you're putting yourself down terribly, but it's a good virus.
Yeah,
there's such a thing as a good virus.
We'll put it that way.
Well, Wes, it's been an intriguing experience interviewing you rather than being interviewed by you.
Well, if I can say that you seem like the natural choice to head up this interview.
You're
because
too kind.
Yeah, we had you on the show, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
When your book Coast came out, and you and I just jived, and we've been in each other's face ever since.
Yes, and it doesn't hurt that we like the occasional pint.
Yes, yes.
Anyhow, sadly, that's really all we've got time for today, much as I could talk to Wes all day and all night.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed today's episode of Lit Happens, you can see previous ones on the Shaw TV website. You can go to Wes's website, www.wesfunk.ca. And you can also check out Lit Happens online on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And I guess, Wes, we'll see you next time on Lit Happens. Thanks for watching.